We all face storms in life, right? Those unexpected floods of loss or doubt or just straight up failure. But what if there was a 2,000-year-old blueprint for building an inner life so solid, so deeply rooted that it just couldn't be shaken? Well, today, we're going to dig into that very design. And this question right here, it really frames everything that's about to follow. It suggests that the ultimate goal isn't just to be a good person, in the way we usually think about it. We're not talking about simply polishing up our external behavior. No, this is about a complete rewiring of our inner world. And this is the starting point. It's a shocking, totally counterintuitive command that cuts against every single natural instinct we have for self-preservation. This isn't some gentle suggestion. It's the first radical step onto a completely different path. Okay, so that brings us to our first major section, what we're calling the outward revolution. See, before we can even look inside, this teaching says we have to start by reshaping our most basic external reactions, especially when someone's pushing our buttons. It's all about consciously breaking that cycle of an eye for an eye. And listen, this isn't some abstract philosophy. It's grounded in really concrete actions. Turn the other cheek. If someone takes your coat, offer your shirt as well. Give freely without keeping score. Each one of these is a physical act designed to literally short-circuit our normal response to conflict and injustice. So why would you do these things that seem so illogical? Well, because they're not just rules. Think of them like spiritual exercises. They are designed to cultivate a heart that just refuses to react to thorns with more thorns, and instead learns to respond with this relentless, almost reckless generosity. And this really puts the two paths in stark contrast. On the left, you've got natural love. It's transactional, right? It's reciprocal. You love me, I love you back. Hey, even the worst of us can manage that. But on the right is kingdom love, and that's something else entirely. It's unconditional. It's loving your enemies and doing good with zero expectation of getting anything back. So why? Why do this? Because the ultimate goal is to mirror the character of the Most High. The teaching says that God himself is kind to the ungrateful and to the wicked. So this radical mercy isn't just some high ideal. It's about actually living like true children of a merciful Father. But, just changing our actions is only half the battle. If our hearts stay the same, that change is never going to last. And that brings us to our second section, the inward inspection. Now we pivot from what we do to where our actions are truly coming from. Here, we run into this powerful spiritual law of reciprocity. Think of it like a lens. The way you view and judge the world, that's the exact same lens through which you'll be viewed. The standard you hold up for other people becomes the measuring stick for your own life. And you gotta love this metaphor. It's almost comically vivid. We are so quick to spot that tiny little splinter in someone else's eye, all while we're walking around with a giant wooden beam sticking out of our own. The point isn't to never help others, but to start with honest, rigorous self-examination first. And this brings us right to the core diagnosis. In this teaching, the heart isn't just the organ pumping blood. It's the control center for your entire life. It's the wellspring from which everything we say and do flows, whether that's good or, whether that's evil. This simple metaphor from nature just ties it all together beautifully. You can't get figs from a thorn bush, right? In the exact same way, our outward actions, our fruit, are an undeniable indicator of the health of our inner tree. Our lives will always reveal what's truly going on inside. Okay, so all of this, our actions, our inner motives, it's all leading to the climax of the teaching, a foundational choice. We're presented with a simple story about two builders, and it basically forces us to decide which one we're going to be. This is the piercing question that sets the stage for the final story. It's a direct challenge, and it draws a really sharp line between people who simply agree with the teaching and those who actually build their lives on it. The ultimate test isn't what you believe, it's what you do. So first, we have the wise builder. Notice the active verbs here. He hears the words, and then he acts. He puts them into practice. And this work is described as digging deep and laying a foundation on solid rock. It's hard, deliberate work. And because he did it, his house stands firm when the storm hits. Now contrast that with the foolish builder. He hears the exact same words, but he does nothing. He builds on the surface, no foundation at all. And when the very same storm hits, the collapse isn't just partial, it is complete and total destruction. And here it is. This is the heart of the matter. Both builders heard the same message. The storm didn't play favorites. The single variable that determined everything, the difference between survival and total ruin, was simple, costly obedience. So this brings us to our final section, and really the most practical question of all. How in the world is any of this actually possible? Let's be honest, loving your enemies and constantly examining your own heart feels like an impossibly heavy lift. I mean, just think about the path we've just laid out. Actively loving people who are against you. Radical, no-strings-attached generosity. Constant, humble self-awareness. It is a steep, difficult climb. By any normal human standard, this is a monumental, if not impossible task. And this is where the teaching gives us the key. It's honest about it. It openly acknowledges that this kind of heart transformation is incredibly hard work. It's not something we can accomplish just through sheer willpower or some self-improvement plan. And that's the ultimate takeaway. Building on the rock is not a solo project. Transforming the very core of our heart is a heavy lift, a lift that we simply cannot do on our own. The teaching concludes that it requires a partnership, a collaboration with the divine, to truly reshape us from the inside out. So we end right where we began, with a question. Looking at your own life, your reactions, your inner motives, your actions, what foundation are you truly building on? Because the answer to that, well, it changes everything.